B16 maintenance due soon on my 2019 Honda Pilot. Looking at the manual, under the maintenance section, code B stands for replacing the engine oil filter, inspecting front and rear brakes, inspecting tie rods, inspecting suspension, drive shaft, brakes, inspect the fluids, exhaust, fuel lines. So it's a lot of inspections. And then 1 stands for rotating tires, which is pretty straightforward. And then 6 is replace the rear differential fluid. Here's my 2019 Honda Pilot. Before we get started on the B16 maintenance, you want to drive it around the block a few minutes, get the oil and differential fluid warmed up, because that's what we're going to change today, along with some other things we're going to inspect. First thing you're going to do is get your car safely on jack stands. Then we have to do a tire rotation. There's different ways to do it, but the way I'm going to do it is front tires, straight back, back tires, cross, and then come to the front. While the wheels are off, we're going to do a lot of inspection. The drive shaft boot, you can check it out, make sure there's no tears or anything or any leaks. Tie rod steering boot, you can check to make sure there's no tears or any leaks or anything like that. You can look at your bushings right here, front control bushing. Look at the axle boot in the front. Inspect your brake lines, make sure there's no tears or any leaks or anything. Look at your brake rotors. You can usually feel if there's a lip or not to see if you need new rotors, but this one seems okay. Look at your brake pads. See, these are still pretty thick on the outside, and on the inside over here I can see they're pretty thick, so the brake pad looks good. Going back to the control arm, I can look at the boot right here. I can look at the boot down here, and then I'm gonna just kind of basically inspect all around, make sure there's no leaks anywhere underneath the car, make sure there's no unusual things to catch. So do this on all 4 corners. For the oil change, I'm going with an OEM Honda filter. The part number is this, and I'm running Mobile 1 OW20, and you need 5.7 quarts. Underneath the car, the engine oil pan right here, and it's a 17 millimeter. You should really replace this washer, but since my car has really low mileage, I'm just going to reuse it. Torque the drain bolt to 30 foot-pounds. And now we're going to get to the oil filter. It's a lot easier when the wheels are off. And I have these oil filter pliers that are going to help remove it. Here's a new oil filter. I put a little bit of oil in here, and I'm going to install it and tighten it as tight as you can do it by hand only. Adding oil is pretty straightforward. There's the oil filler cap right there, and there's a dipstick. You want to add about 5 quarts and then measure with the dipstick once the car is on the ground. And then after that, we're going to inspect the engine bay while we're still here. This is where the brake fluid reservoir is. You want to make sure that it's not low, and you can see there's a min-max there. You can inspect in the engine bay with a flashlight, make sure there's no leaks anywhere. So I just popped off this cover right here. You can see the radiator, but we're not going to touch this, especially when it's hot. But here's the radiator fluid reservoir. So if it looks low, like mine is at the very bottom of the line, so I might add just a little bit of distilled water in here. And this one is your windshield wiper fluid. Now we're going to move to the rear of the car. When you did your tire rotation, you should have inspected your brake rotors, your brake pads, the brake lines, and all the other suspension components. Now we're going to do the rear diff. This is the OEM fluid, dual pump fluid 2. You're going to need 2 of these, and fluid pump. And because of my 2-inch lift and 2-inch bigger tires, I don't need a jack. And here's the differential fuel bolt. And here's the differential drain bolt. Always loosen the fuel bolt before you loosen the drain bolt. Because if you loosen the drain bolt and this bolt is stuck, you can't add fluid, then you're going to be screwed. No special bit required. It's just the 3/8 inch extension. You can go this way, like that, through here, or you can go straight from here. It's a little tight, but I broke it loose. I think this is like a magnetic drain bolt. I'm going to reuse these washers because my car has very little miles, but eventually you want to replace these washers for the drain bolt and the fill bolt. While you're waiting for the diff fluid to drain, part of the B16 maintenance is to inspect everything, like the differential drive shaft boot here and the axle boot. Check all your bushings there, your differential bushing. Inspect your exhaust. Then we need to check your fuel lines and everything else. I'm going to reinstall the drain bolt, and this gets torqued to 35 foot-pounds. I'm going to prime the pump. Alright, ready to go. So just start pumping fluid. It's going to be about 2 quarts. And you'll know when you're done is when you use up just about 2 quarts, and then the fluid starts to leak out of the fill bolt. That means you're done. Torque this bolt to 35 foot-pounds. Alright guys, B16 maintenance. We did the oil change, differential fluid change, tire rotation, and a bunch of inspections. Now we're going to reset the light. Go to settings, vehicle, maintenance information, and it tells you 15% life, oil and filter, tire rotation, all-wheel drive oil. So I'm going to reset all. Now it's been reset. All life 100%. Hope you guys enjoyed the video. Please like and subscribe. Thanks for watching.